what's up guys, ArchAngel Manga here, and today's review is going to be Welcome to the Space Show. Feature length anime, clocking in at 2 hours and 14 minutes, which is pretty long for an anime feature. I was surprised at how long this was. I watched it in two parts actually. I watched like half of it, I watched like an hour, had a break, and then like a few hours later watched the second half, so it was pretty much like I was watching two films almost. But yeah, anime production is by A1 Pictures, so this is more of like a first impressions of what they have to offer as like an anime production studio, because I haven't watched anything that's come out of their library. So yeah, welcome to the Space Show. I was impressed, I was very impressed. It's very ambitious anime in its scale, its animation quality, and also the running time. So yeah, what is it about? Basically, you've got five school kids, all in different grades, Japanese kids, and they're on summer vacation. And as kids want to do, you know, when they're at the age of like 10, 11, and you know onwards, they want their own independence. So for a week out of the vacation, they get away from the parents and the teachers, and go, you know, camping at the school. Because they live in like a little rural village, so you know it's not like a massive school that they go to. So yeah, they're hanging out in the playground, and one of the little girls has lost her bunny rabbit. So they're all like, you know, searching around in like the surrounding countryside for this little rabbit, and they end up coming across an injured dog. Now this injured dog, basically, he's an alien. To put it simply. The kids nurse him back to health, and they expected him just to, you know, stand up, you know, wagging his tail, you know, looking happy and jovial like a, you know, a dog's supposed to be, and just go on his way. But no, he greets them formally, and you know, gives them a really formal thank you by speaking to them and standing upright, you know, anthropomorphically. And these kids are just completely shocked, you know. But kids being kids, they're less scared and more like, oh wow, this is so cool. And it turns out that this dog is called Pochi, and he's been sent to Earth to look for an extremely rare plant. He's like a space botanist, I guess you would say. He's been sent to Earth to look for an extremely rare plant, and in the process of coming to Earth, he was tracked down by like thugs, goons, or like from like a rival corporation or something like that. Who he gets into like a fight with, ends up injured, and that's where the kids find him. So yeah, as a means of thank you for nursing back to health, Pochi grants them a trip to the moon. And what's strange is that the moon, like half of the moon is like an alien sort of colony. There's like a port which like covers like half of the moon, which kind of makes no sense, and considering that the moon, you know, rotates around the Earth and also spins on an axis. You know, we always get to see, you know, every side of the moon, so I don't know how they managed to hide this massive city on the moon, but whatever. So yeah, Pochi grants them a trip to the moon. You know, the kids having fun, and this is where the animation really shines, because we get to see like loads of different alien races, you know, loads of like alien sort of architecture, and it's very, very colourful and vibrant in its colour palette, almost overbearingly so. You know, there's no real sort of focal point. You know, there's no, your eyes are constantly looking around at like, you know, the different sort of races and, you know, the different environments. It's very fast paced in that respect. But anyway, kids get to the moon, and through a series of strange and unusual events, they end up stranded there, and they can't get back to Earth. So they have to get part-time jobs to kind of like make ends meet, because the only way to get back to Earth is by using the Galaxy Express train. So through this, it just goes on to like a mind-bending, trippy sort of journey through space, through the entire universe, you know, to Pochi's homeworld and things like that. And it's very, very, very reminiscent of Summer Wars by Mamoru Hosoda, in its sort of extravagant, ambitious, like world building, like, you know, the scale of it is massive. So yeah, I really enjoyed the art style and the animation, and the creativity that they've, you know, painstakingly put into it. you know, the anime, like everything is just animated. There's nothing that's static in this in this film, from the characters to background crowds to the backgrounds themselves. Everything is animated, and it's almost overwhelming. I found it at some points to be very overwhelming, to the point where I was like rewinding and just appreciating the art style. But I guess that you could say that's kind of a fault as well, because, you know, it's over ambitious in that respect. But yeah, that's the gist of the story. 5 kids traveling around the universe with an anthropomorphic dog, whilst being pursued by like an evil sort of organisation. Well, it's not an organisation. It's just rivals. So I'm not going to reveal or anything, but it's just like rivals who are also in search of this rare element, this rare plant. But yeah, let's talk about the characters. The characters, for the most part, are probably the worst aspect of this film, because we're not really given real clear sort of character introductions, or at least that's how I felt. I spent most of the film trying to figure out who was who, in terms of like names, like when, you know, they're referred to as names. Character, like the designs of them, you know, they're very easy to set apart, obviously, but there's not really much in the way of character development. You know, we're not really given clear reasons as to why, you know, one character is angry with the other character, or, you know, just the dynamics of their friendship and their relationship between each other. Like, it wasn't really clear to me initially, so I'm gonna have to give this a second watch. So yeah, the characters are probably the weakest, but further on into the film, because it's such a long film, you know, there are 1 or 2 characters that do stand out, like the youngest character, whose name escapes me. The little girl who lost the bunny rabbit, she's probably my favourite character out of the whole film, just because of how well voiced she is. Like, that's one of the best things. Even though the characters aren't particularly that great, the voice cast is very, very good. Particularly noteworthy is the female VA who voices the youngest little girl. I'm pretty sure she was actually a child, because her child voice is just flawless. I'm pretty sure that they actually cast children for the voice acting roles, because they just come across as, you know, really young sounding voices. So the English voice casts, I have to commend them for the amazing work that they did on the acting. I was very, very impressed with that. Nothing seemed like synthetic or you know, kind of forced. Everything just seemed very natural. It almost felt like they were in the environments and in the sort of landscapes that they were in, travelling through space, because, you know, the performances that I put through, I have to say that this is one of the best films I've seen for voice acting. But yeah, Pochi, as a character, he's interesting, because he's essentially the children's guide through the universe, but he also gets them into a lot of trouble. I mean, one of the main reasons why they're stranded in space in the first place is because of him, which are reasons which I won't, you know, disclose for anybody who wants to watch this film. But yeah, I highly recommend this film. It's very similar to the works of Mamoru Hosoda and Hayao Miyazaki. You know, it's actually been criticised for being too familiar with Studio Ghibli's work, but I would say it's a little bit edgier. It's actually been stated that this film is a little bit edgier than works from the Studio Ghibli production company. But yeah, would I recommend this? I would absolutely recommend this film, just for the art style alone, and just the vastness of you know, the dream. It's almost like a dreamscape, and it can seem very, very trippy and drug influenced and drug infused in some places, you know, because the scenes are so fantastical and imaginary that, you know, you'd be almost you'd be almost forced to believe that this is all just a dream. But yeah, I very, very much enjoyed this film. You know, it's got a high rewatch value. I will be rewatching this. So yeah, drop me your thoughts and comments in the section below. Have you watched Welcome to the Space Show? What do you think of it? Is there anything similar to this that you think I might want to check out? So yeah, until then, ArchAngel Manga signing out.